Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Schools of future. Definitely we have education, if I say, it's nothing new. From the ancient time, from the Vedic time, it's existing. And over a period of time, different formats of schools, teaching and learning has come to us. If I talk about Vedic age, there were two ways of learning, Shruti and Smriti. People used to memorize Vedas, and the process was constant chantings. Chant from morning to evening. Regular chanting leads to learn those voluminous Vedas by heart and pass on the same knowledge to next generation, adding his own experience. But in present time, we don't have to learn all those voluminous Vedas and we don't have to memorize them. We have Google in place of that. Anything you want to search, it's available at a click of button. Those who have heard Mr. Shiv Khera in morning, he said that technology changes every 2 years. Within 2 years, the old technology is obsolete. We have come to this level from a trunk dialing phone to cell phone to smartphone, from horse-driven cart to bullet trains, to aeroplanes and jumbo jets. But we really don't see much of change in terms of schoolings. With the exception of 10% schools which exist across the territory, across the globe, I'll say, or most probably say if we confirm to Indian territory, leaving those top 10% school, still the methods of teaching in most of our schools is traditional way. Teacher is the center of learning. Whatever teacher says, whatever is written in a book, is a part of learning, and that is to be attempted, written in examination, word to word, as it is. With the time when things are changing, obviously we need to change ourselves. We need to see the technology, the methodologies, the curriculum, student and teacher, everyone has to change, keeping in mind that globally every aspect is changing, every area is changing, then why not learning? Because learning will lead to a successful human in later phase. Now question arises, what should be part of schoolings as on today? Because you are preparing a child who has just entered school at the age of 5 years or 6 years. He'll complete his 12th class by age of say 17 or 18, then college for another 3 years, and after that he'll start his business, job, or whatever it is. Then school needs to plan for at least 15 to 16 years ahead. And we really don't know how India will look like after 15 years. We can just project certain things. The first aspect which I would like to deal is curriculum. Whatever happens in the remotest school of India is basically controlled by the board with which school is affiliated, which is, the two national boards are having headquarters in Delhi itself, or the state boards. Whatever happens in a class is directly related to what is asked in the board examination. We may debate, we may argue, but the fact is, still we are leading or we are moving ahead with marks-driven system. If we have a direct question in board examination, when was Gandhiji born? Then teacher will never teach what is a Gandhian philosophy. Teacher will cover only 2nd October is important, 3rd is wrong, 4th is wrong. Only 2nd October you need to write. Second aspect. When we talk about Continuous assessments, because learning needs to be assessed. How to assess that? Different formats has come, summative assessment, formative assessments, CCA activities, and so on and so forth. But to me, continuous assessment is, which is happening every minute, every day, 365 days, 24/7. Continuous is your heartbeat. Continuous is your breath. Anything which is at a gap of a time is not continuous. Now, how to come up with that level? How can we do those continuous assessment is the second challenge. Third, child is much more aware of the facts existing. His grip over technology is even a step ahead of teachers. So teachers need to develop their own skills in terms of technology, in terms of working how to utilize the various resources available in the classroom system. Students, which we see as on today, though restriction of laptops, restriction of, say, cell phones still exist in Indian schools. But the future school, when you see, these things will become part of school system, where the personalized things can be straightway sent to a child with a click. The schools will change its total phase. The schools which we see as on today, it has already started happening in, even forget about the Western world, it's happening even in India, where the child attends school 3 days in a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, second batch of student attends. Another group of students are coming. In one group, 3 days, some 400 kids are coming. Other 3 days, another group of 300 students coming. Whereas, the day when he gets off, that's a day where a different set of teachers email them informations, they study, they do number of activities, and next day they come up with the assignments which are assigned. The teacher and students, they are talking, they are interacting. It's a two-way communication channel, but then they are physically not present in school. Probably in next 7 to 8 years, we'll see this kind of schooling happening more often in India. Then maybe probably we'll say that even 3 days is enough. The child will come only for 1 day, and rest all day he will do activity through different gadgets. Schools, instead of being one school, will become a community center. A center where people will come, interact with each other. Human values and human relations will be taught through these interactions, not the basic, the content of those things, the book syllabus. Beside this, the future school needs to move towards personalized learning. If you see the time when you were in school, teacher has one methodology to teach. When I was in school, teacher had only one methodology. Teacher will teach, whether you understand or not is your problem. If you are well-disciplined child, then yes, after school, maybe after your lesson or some other free time, you can go to teacher and ask, sir or ma'am, please can you explain me this? If the teacher is in good mood, yes, teacher will explain. Otherwise, it's up to you. Now we are moving towards the personalized learning, where the 3 domains of learning are to be taken care. Each lesson will be prepared based on the learning styles, where the auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learners are taken care of. And the success rate of students, because even, Dr. Shona has given a figure, I don't know, dropouts are not covered. There's a huge dropouts from the rural areas, from the tier 2 cities, from smaller cities. Now the schools of future which we are talking about will have a kind of a setup where dropouts will be minimum, because The child is learning the way he learns. Based on his style, he will learn. Obviously, learning will be much easier for him. And success will come through his learning. Scientifically, it is proved that the maximum growth of brain, whereas the domains of learning takes place below the age of 7 years. By 7 years, child's maximum learning styles are developed. Maybe there is another 4-5% which may happen based on case to case after 7 years. Whereas what we see, in early 7 years, the preschools are still not recognized sector of Indian education system. Still it is unorganized. Every school has its own methods of teaching and learning, his own criteria of deciding things, whether I'll teach uppercase or I'll teach lowercase or I'll teach cursive. Nothing is decided. So basically we are wasting the at least 3 years of child where he could learn so much is not utilized. Now those areas will be taken care of. The schools, instead of a classroom, will be a kind of a mini theater. If in election campaign we can have a 3D model of Narendra Modi, 3D virtual image of Modi addressing 20 places, similar thing will happen in classrooms, where one teacher will teach to 5-6 classes simultaneously. When we can have a 3D movies, why can't we have a 3D picture, which is actually virtual 3D, talking about Second World War, talking about dissection of frog, which is banned in the boards, but electronic dissection will take place. With this method, the learning ability, the child's learning level will go much, much higher. Schools, instead of content-based, will shift towards human relations. We'll talk about one-to-one relation with the student, with the community, with the society. The schools will talk about the areas which are, at least at the moment, at the present, are not part of curriculum. When we see how this is going to happen, that's one important point. Technology is the solution. All those technical things will come into class. I think that's enough to say about the future things. Thank you so much.